according to a new Samana rules. A heron flew over the bamboo forest, and Siddhartha accepted the heron into his soul, flew over forest and mountains, was a heron, ate fish, felt the pangs of a heron's hunger, spoke the heron's croak, died a heron's death. A dead jackal was lying on the sandy bank, and Siddhartha's soul slipped inside the body, was the dead jackal, lay on the banks, got bloated, stank, decayed, was dismembered by hyenas, was skinned by vultures, turned into a skeleton, turned to dust, was blown across the fields. And Siddhartha's soul returned, had died, had decayed, was scattered as dust, had tasted the gloomy intoxication of the cycle, awaited in new thirst like a hunter in the gap, where he could escape from the cycle, where the end of the causes, where an eternity without suffering began. He killed his senses, he killed his memory, he slipped out of his self into thousands of other forms, was an animal, was carrion, was stone, was wood, was water, and awoke every time to find his old self again. Sun shone or moon, was his self again, turned round in the cycle, felt thirst, overcame the thirst, felt new thirst. Siddhartha learned a lot when he was with the Samanas. Many ways leading away from the self he learnt to go. He went the way of self-denial by means of pain, through voluntarily suffering and overcoming pain, hunger, thirst, tiredness. He went the way of self-denial by means of meditation, through imagining the mind to be void of all conceptions. These and other ways he learnt to go. 1,000 times he left his self. For hours and days he remained in the non-self. But though the ways led away from the self, their end, nevertheless, always led back to the self. Though Siddhartha fled from the self 1,000 times, stayed in nothingness, stayed in the animal, in the stone, the return was inevitable. Inescapable was the hour when he found himself back in the sunshine or in the moonlight, in the shade or in the rain, and was once again his self and Siddhartha, and again felt the agony of the cycle which had been forced upon him. By his side lived Govinda, his shadow, walked the same paths, undertook the same efforts. They rarely spoke to one another, than the service and the exercises required. Occasionally the two of them went through the villages, to beg for food for themselves and their teachers. "How do you think, Govinda?" Siddhartha spoke one day while begging this way. "How do you think did we progress? Did we reach any goals?" Govinda answered, "We have learnt, and will continue learning. You'll be a great Samana, Siddhartha. Quickly you've learnt every exercise. Often the old Samanas have admired you. One day you'll be a holy man, O Siddhartha." Quoth Siddhartha, "I can't help but feel that it is not like this, my friend. What I've learned, being among the Samanas, up to this day, this, O Govinda, I could have learnt more quickly, and by simpler means. In every tavern of that part of a town where the whorehouses are, my friend, among the carters and gamblers, I could have learnt it." Quoth Govinda, "Siddhartha is putting me on. How could you have learned meditation, holding your breath, insensitivity against hunger and pain there amongst these wretched people?" And Siddhartha said quietly, as if he was talking to himself, "What is meditation? What is leaving one's body? What is fasting? What is holding one's breath? It is fleeing from the self. It is a short escape of the agony of being a self. It is a short numbing of the senses against the pain and the pointlessness of life. The same escape, the same short numbing is what the driver of an ox cart finds in the inn, drinking a few bowls of rice wine. or fermented coconut.
Para seguir escuchando este audiolibro gratuitamente, haz clic en el enlace de la descripción y podrás escucharlo completo sin coste gracias a la prueba de 30 días de Audible.